I am winterizing my RV for the first time. As you can see, it's sunny, it's 80. I actually have my AC running. I am in sunny San Diego and I'm headed to Flagstaff, Arizona to stay at a rest stop. And tomorrow and the next day I'll be headed towards Denver, which is cold. So I need to winterize my RV by myself because I just winterized it 2 weeks ago at an RV rally in Quartzsite, Arizona, not knowing I was coming to San Diego. So I don't want to pay twice in 2 weeks. So all you have to do is YouTube it for lots of really good tips if you want to winterize your RV yourself. But one of the things that they didn't tell you in most of the videos I watched, the first thing they'll tell you to do is release this water pressure valve. So that is your hot water heater. You are trying to drain it. This is when it's in the closed position. This is in the open position. And as you can see, there's barely any water dripping out of it, but you want to make sure you turn off your city water. So this is my city water right down there. And since they didn't tell me that, it just kept coming out and coming out and coming out of this water pressure release valve. I knew I had only filled 2 jugs of water in it to start. And so I figured out really quickly that it should not keep having water running out. Came over, always coming up with new RV hacks as part of the deal when you're RVing solo. So I turned off the city water and immediately the water stopped coming out. So if that happens to you, or you're following a video on how to winterize and they forget to tell you to turn your city water off when you are conducting this task, there you have it. That's your tip. The first thing that I want to do is make sure my water pump is off, and I want to open this water pressure release valve. As you can see, it is emptying my hot water heater. It is draining everything out. That's what I want it to be doing. It's not leaking. And as soon as that is done, I will show you the next step. Then you are going to raise this up and water is going to shoot out. It's already done that for me. This is your water pressure release valve and it is going to drain. That's what you want it to do. When the water stops dripping, then you push that down. The next step is to take off this little white button right here. Now, I had to do it with pliers. I keep pliers in my RV for any time a man touches something that involves tightening. Sorry, man, I love you, but you always over tighten. So I can't get it off myself. So I use the pliers. Other people have an L-shaped bracket that they're able to get this off, but I just do it with pliers. And you're just gonna take it out and, oh, I got a shower. As you can see, the water is pouring out. That's what you want. This is not a problem. Now, after it's done pouring out, you're still draining out your water heater. Some people will put this back in. Other people will put back in a paper towel, just so that you don't want to leave it completely open because you can get bugs in there and nobody wants bugs because this right here is not fully sealed. This is like a vent right here. So anyway, your choice, decide which one you want to put back. And then you are going to move on to your low point drains as soon as this water stops running. Next step after you've emptied your water heater is to empty your low point drain valves. This is where mine are at, and beware, hopefully I don't get any water on my phone here. As soon as I open these, water is going to shoot out. That is what you want. Remember, the point of winterizing is getting water out of every crack and crevice that you possibly can, and then filling it with safe antifreeze for RVs other than your water heater, which you don't want to fill that. That's why we're doing all these different steps. So just let that water pour out and wait until it is finished before moving on to your next step. Okay, you also want to take off that little black cap. That is my fresh water valve. I want to take that out and let anything that is in my freshwater tank to drain. We are trying to get the water out of everywhere. So you just take the cap off, wait for the water to get done, and put the cap on. And lastly, you don't want to forget to actually plug in your blue curlicue hose that you spray off your feet at the beach right in here, and then make sure you do hot or cold first. Close it and then do the other one because you can also freeze back here if you forget about that spot. So that takes care of all the places. If you have a washer and dryer, you're going to have to do some extra steps. I don't have one in this RV, so that's not something that I have to worry about. So I've turned my handles in the winterizing position. You can see that the blue one is facing inline, so it's open to my siphon hose, which is leading into my bucket of antifreeze. It takes me 2 gallons, and I just pour it directly into a bucket so I don't have to deal with like spilling antifreeze and changing from one to the other. You can get this bucket for $2 at Walmart. And then you can see that the little white valve 2 is also in line with the same one as the blue valve. And then valve 3, which is the silver one, is in the closed position. So open means that it's running in line with the pipe. Closed means that it is perpendicular to the pipe. Okay, then I'm going to go over and turn my water pump on, and mine just happens to be right up here. I have it on. Then you are going to start with cold and then hot. It doesn't matter which order, but just one at a time. You're going to run your water with the pump on until you start seeing pink come out. Now, I already did the cold. When you switch from cold to hot, it's going to come out pink right away. But that is just remnants from the other one. You need to wait for it to turn clear again, and then it'll go back to pink. So as you can see, it's pink right now. Okay, so you have to do that with every single one of your faucets, your outdoor kitchen, your outdoor sprayer, all of the things, your toilet, your shower. So that's what I'm going to do. Doing the same thing in my outdoor kitchen. That's the cold. Then I'm going to run the hot. Remember, you got to wait till it turns white and then it goes back to pink. So we're just going to wait for that for a second, and it's starting to do that now, running through the lines. There we go. That's exactly what we want to see. Just going to give it a chance to get some of that air out and try not to get pink all over my shirt. See, you can see it's clear, and then it will start running pink hopefully here soon, because I only have 2 gallons of antifreeze, but that's about how much it usually takes. Once it starts turning pink, I will turn it off. There it goes. Yay for pink. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with the left side. See how it went right back to white after turning pink for a second? You want to wait for it to become pink a second time when you are doing your second handle. So it's running through. There it is. It's turning pink now. So that is good. That's exactly what we want to see. Now we're going to do the same thing with our shower. So I'm just going to turn that on, wait for it to turn pink. Oh, that one didn't take long at all. Do the same thing with my hot water. See how it went back to white, and then now it's going to pink again. Now the antifreeze can stain, so you do want to clean out your tub after you do that, and you do also want to take your shower head down, or it will spray pink everywhere. So when I go to do this, I am actually going to turn the water on both sides, and then I am going to make sure that it's aimed straight down and not at my wall. As you can see, it's still coming out white right now. I need it to come out pink. And it looks like it is not pink yet, but it's starting to get there, as I can see in the bottom. So that's what we're looking for. It's a little bit harder to tell in your shower. You're going to do the same thing in your toilet until that turns pink. There you have it. And you do want to actually fill up your bowl so that you do leave a little bit of pink in there. That will help protect your seals from drying out. So you just want to keep that in there. If it gets sloshy in the winter a little bit, it's okay. Antifreeze isn't going to freeze. That's the whole point. So I have just a tad bit extra of antifreeze, and I'm going to pour it down the sink so that it can get into the P-trap. I actually just bought 2 gallons because that's what my Mobile Tech has always used. But you can see it used every last drop. I would recommend getting 3. I have a 35-foot RV, so if you have about that size, I would recommend 3. If you have smaller, you can probably get away with 2. You're now done with the winterizing process, but you want to get this pink cleaned up because it can stain. So just take some paper towels and wipe all that pink up so that you don't come back at the end of summer, or the beginning of spring, and have pink stains. Next, you want to pull up in these low point drains each side and make sure the pink is coming out. I just did that. It will shoot out. So be careful. You have to be able to put it right back on really fast. You're just checking to make sure that there is pink in both of the lines. And then the last step is to empty out your gray and black tanks, and then you are done winterizing. I keep mine in this yellow bucket, so I always know it means gross sewer hose. And I am done winterizing. I no longer have water. I'm very sad.